All right, everybody. We are back for a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in quite a few weeks. I've spent most of October moving, so I've been very busy. Trying to manage moving, no internet. I moved out to the country, or like not into like a little small town about 45 minutes north of where I was living. So I've been juggling everything with like online business, moving, and everything like that with minimal internet connection and stuff. So it's been a challenge for sure, but we are back in full force. So yeah, I just figured I would do a Q&A, see how everybody's doing. Get your questions answered about online business, affiliate marketing, personal branding, kind of whatever you guys want to talk about. I usually do these every other week, which I will be getting back onto the routine now that I am all settled in. Apparently, I can't go live on more than one device with my internet. My internet's horrible out here. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to start dropping them and we'll answer them. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go live on there. So, sorry, trying to go live on TikTok, but apparently that's not going to work right now with my internet. So, yeah, the challenges of getting everything set up. So we have had a lot of influx in the group, a lot of great new members, growth, stuff like that. And there is tons of free resources in the guide section. There's a bunch of different trainings. There's also the free 6-day workshop. If you're just beginning, I would highly recommend starting there. Someone asked, what's the best way to fill your group with dream clients? So there's a couple different ways that you can grow your group fairly quickly. Groups are kind of a long-term play, but the benefit of having a Facebook group is as time goes on, they will continue to grow by themselves. So you'll start to get organic inbound leads. You'll start getting people that are interested in the subject of your group without doing like any more acquisition. So a couple different ways. I'm a big advocate on teaching people organic Facebook and leveraging their Facebook profile to make sales. A really great way to get group growth is from your profile. So as you're building your audience on your Facebook profile, you're adding friends that are all in the same industry or interested in making money online or whatever you're doing. And then you can put out short form lead generation content. Usually very simple short posts on Facebook perform extremely well. Getting people to raise their hands, say they want help, say they're interested in whatever you're releasing. And then you can send them an invite to your group. You can kind of layer it behind your Facebook group. So say, for example, you put out a post that's talking about, I just put together like a 4-step guide to do X, Y, Z. And then you have people commenting on this post, asking for more information. You can then send them a message and tell them that you just released this inside of your Facebook group. So that's one of the ways that I grew my group fairly quickly. And then there's also external resources. Or external traffic sources. So if you're doing like TikTok, you're doing Pinterest, whatever you're doing, start pointing those traffic sources to your Facebook group. Can really work well to get that initial ball rolling, especially if you're on TikTok, because if you get a couple videos that perform extremely well, and then you'll get this massive influx of people joining your Facebook group. So that can be a really great strategy. And then you can also just ask people. A big thing is asking people if they want to join your group. As you're building relationships and you're engaging with people, asking if they want to be a part of your community. And that would be my recommendation. It kind of depends on what you're doing when it comes to which platforms you're on, but you can grow it fairly quickly utilizing a few different strategies. And then as far as like actually filling your group out, like content, I would start putting it out inside of your group ASAP. So like even before you have members, I know it seems kind of weird to like be posting to nobody or like doing live videos or anything like that. But having that content inside of there when people start joining will give them this stuff to consume, and it will further nurture the relationships with your audience and build more rapport with them. Let me turn this on. Let me see if I can go. We will find out. Try to go live from my other phone. No. So yeah, groups can be really great. Having your own Facebook community and building out this community of your own is probably one of the biggest benefits of doing organic Facebook, in my opinion, because everybody in there looks at you like the leader. It's your space. You make the rules. You can kind of say what goes on in there, and it makes making sales a lot easier because it's your space, right? Everybody's in there looking for your advice. They're following you. It's your brand. So putting a huge emphasis on growing your group. That's one of the main things that I did when I was starting organic Facebook. That was like my number one goal. And then also, that's actually what I've been transitioning into, is teaching, like you guys have probably heard, this case study group that I launched is all about growing your group and working with a handful of people and growing their group. Because that's, in my opinion, one of the most powerful parts. You can collect email addresses. It starts running on autopilot. It will start building itself. It will start getting organic leads in all the time, because that's a big thing that a lot of people get stuck in with organic Facebook, is they get stuck in the cold DM phase where they're like adding more friends. They're adding more and more people, and they're sending out all these cold DMs. But if you put a heavy emphasis on growing your Facebook community, you can still send cold DMs, but instead of like going to other groups and adding people that you don't know, you can add people from your own group. And it makes furthering that relationship a lot easier because they already know who you are. They're aware of who you are. They're in your community. So it's kind of like and then you can also start mixing in content on your profile and inside of your Facebook group. So they're getting, two different options. They're seeing you all over the place, and it just really works well for establishing omnipresence on one platform. Because in reality, that's what it's all about. That's what affiliate marketing and having success with affiliate marketing is all about, is nurturing and building relationships with people, establishing connections with them. People don't necessarily, how do I word it? People aren't going to buy if you're just like spamming your affiliate link all over Facebook. You're just spamming your link everywhere. You're not doing anything for them. There's no relationship. So like sharing your stories, being you, building an actual personal brand with personality in it, not just like a robot, like, hey, are you guys struggling to make money online? Click this link below. Why would they buy that? Why would they click on the link? So that's totally ramble tangent, but yeah, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to go live on more than one thing. What would your number one strategy if you had to start from scratch and reach 5K a month through affiliate marketing? If I was going to start over again, I would literally just do organic Facebook. Even to this day, that's where most of my sales come from. Even over the years, I've built a massive blog, hundreds of YouTube videos, tons of different materials. And I'm not saying that in the long run, you don't necessarily, you want automated systems, right? You want email automation, you want sales funnels and all of this stuff. But if I was starting over, I would literally ditch 99% of the stuff, like no tech, I would literally just use my Facebook profile. And the reason for that is, a lot of people get stuck and hung up in the weeds, right? When they're first starting their affiliate marketing business, they get stuck in the tech, right? They spend 6 months building out this sales funnel. They spend, all this time writing out these email marketing campaigns, and they never even really learn how to get anybody to them. That's what I did for an extremely long time. I literally never put any focus on like sales or marketing. I was just looking for different systems and different tips and hacks. So if I was starting over, I would go all in with my Facebook profile. And that's because you can be very proactive. If you want to go out and make sales, you can get in contact with people. You can build up your audience. It's not like where you're putting out a piece of content and you're just sitting and waiting. You put out a YouTube video and then that's that. Like if it ranks, great. If it doesn't, then you just got to keep doing that. So that if I was starting over, I would go all in with Facebook. I wish I would have stumbled on this strategy when I was first starting, because I played around in various strategies before I ever even realized that you could do it on Facebook. And another benefit to it is it allows you to learn marketing and sales, right? So if you're doing something that requires virtually minimal tech, less setup and less stuff as a business owner, it's going to allow you to pour your focus into what actually matters. And then that way, when your business does start growing and you start actually having success, you can start mixing in other things and they'll actually work. So like the main reason why, you'll see somebody put out this sales funnel and they get a ton of success from it. And then you see another person release the same sales funnel and they're not having any success with it. It's usually because one person understands like the psychology behind sales, how to write copy, and like actually marketing, and the other person's just plugging into a system hoping that that's going to bring sales. So in my opinion, if you pour your energy into like mastering organic Facebook first, it's going to explode your business down the road. So if you want to start mixing in, automations, paid ads, or anything that you're doing, you're going to be starting off on a better point, because you'll have an understanding of, why people are buying products, how to present your offer in a way that's encouraging to get other people to buy products. Just a plethora of different benefits. So if I was starting over, that's definitely what I'd recommend. I mean, that's what I'm actively doing right now. I'm at the point in my business where I do have automations. I have a bunch of different stuff, but the majority of my sales still come from my Facebook. Utilizing very basic content, sharing my story, being myself, and then putting out posts that extrapolate my leads, get them to raise their hand, say they want help, and then I present offers in DMs. In something as simple as a Google document, like listing out your offer, and stuff like that. So that's usually always my number one recommendation for getting started. You could just be very proactive. And there is right and wrong ways to do it. So a lot of people, I'm not going to make a blanket statement, but one of the misconceptions about organic Facebook is a lot of people get pulled in with the spammy stuff that, you see on Facebook. Because I can guarantee you've got messages. I get messages like it all the time, glad to be connected. Like here, you don't even know this person, right? And they're sending you an offer. They're sending you an affiliate link. And that's not what I'm encouraging anybody to do, right? You are building a personal brand. Put your personality into it. You need to nurture these relationships through your content. And actually build a business. You're not just spamming and stuff like that. So, and understanding the difference between where your audience is at, right? So the biggest thing and the biggest mistake that a lot of people make when they're first doing organic Facebook is they're trying to close these sales right away. So this is really prevalent if you're in the high ticket space and you're selling high ticket products. They're trying to sell a high ticket product to a cold audience, like right away. Like you get into a conversation and you're engaging with somebody for the first time and you're trying to close that high ticket sale. And while those will happen every once in a while, it's not going to be the driving factor for you getting to 10K months or having a ton of success, right? It's acting accordingly, depending on where your audience is at with you. If they've been consuming your content for the last 6 months, it's going to make them buying a high ticket product from you extremely easy because they already know you, versus getting into a rhythm or a habit of just getting these brand new people all of the time and making those your priority and those your core focus. for me, when I do cold outreach, and you don't have to do cold outreach forever, you know what I mean? That's a great way to get the ball rolling and start getting momentum in your business. Uh, but realistically, when you're doing it, I would highly recommend keeping it non-business. So like if you're adding friends and you are getting, building your audience on Facebook, because Facebook allows you to have 5,000 friends. If it's the first time talking to somebody, I wouldn't even talk about business or talk about the product you're selling or the product you're promoting or anything like that. The only objective for me usually is to get them to respond, because then they're going to start seeing my content, and that's going to establish a layer of trust. They're going to start to get to know who I am. They're going to start to see what I'm doing in my life, in my business. And then I'll start putting out short posts or posts that are making offers to people. And then when they raise their hand, then I can send them an offer. The dynamic of the conversation changes when you are putting out a piece of content and someone comments on your post and they say, they raise their hand and they say they want more information. And then you reach out to them and you provide them with information. The dynamic of the conversation is completely different. You're not some random guy sending them an affiliate link. They asked, they wanted your help. They showed interest in what you were doing. Hey, thanks for jumping on. Sorry, I'm totally rambling. Can I start using Facebook ads? I wouldn't recommend it. Personally, I would definitely not recommend Facebook ads. If you were going to do any type of advertising, I would do Google. But with that said, if you are just starting and you don't have any marketing and sales experience, I probably wouldn't play around with any paid ads at all. There's so many different moving parts to paid advertising that it can be extremely difficult to make money, right? And the cost of advertising is through the roof. You need a very strong follow-up process. So like, if you have to think, like, for a lot of people, the goal with paid advertising and the goal with Facebook ads and stuff like that is usually to break even, right? And that's a big thing a lot of people don't know or understand about when it comes to paid ads. They're breaking even on the front end, and if you're breaking even on the front end, you're good, right? That's a good campaign because you're collecting email addresses, and you have to have this very advanced system in place for it to be viable, or you need to be selling extremely expensive products. I'm talking like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 products to make it viable to, start making a profit on the front end with Facebook ads and stuff like that. So if you're just starting, I definitely would not recommend starting with Facebook ads or any paid advertising for that matter. That's just my opinion. And I'm not saying you can't have success with it, but there is a very steep learning curve with paid ads, right? And as I was kind of talking about earlier in the training or earlier in this Q&A, is if you can learn like marketing and sales, and you can make a ton of money with organic traffic. Like, you don't have to do paid ads, and that's a big misconception. Like, you don't have to do that. And for me, anyways, when I started, I started with Facebook ads. Is the promise of passive traffic, the promise of it being easier, right? You're going to put on an advertisement and then people are going to start buying products. In reality, that's not the case. With paid ads, it's constant testing, and there's a lot of different moving parts to it. And if one thing's off, it makes the whole system just not operate the same. So I'm not a big advocate on paid ads in general. You can do retargeting, but you would need an audience already. So that's another. They're crazy. They're advanced, and then they're also. You have to keep in mind. So like, if it's not evergreen, right? Advertising is always going to work, right? But it's always changing, right? So if you're building a personal brand, and let's say in 2 years' time or whatever, after you've built this brand and you've started to have success, maybe you want to create something of your own. If you start teaching things about Facebook ads, or you start teaching this type of stuff to other people, or you're building an audience in this industry, that stuff's always changing. So that means what you're doing and the strategies that you're teaching are always going to be changing too. Um, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, that you have to continuously learn new things and continuously, keep up with advertising policies. And, it's just, I prefer evergreen stuff, right? So teaching people how to build a brand that revolves around themselves, sell products, whether that's a one-to-one scenario, one-to-many scenario. Um, there's just so many different ways to skin a cat in reality. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily play around with paid ads unless you have money to burn to learn it, or you already have a pre-existing audience slash marketing and sales experience. If you understand marketing, you understand how to get people to buy stuff, then you could. But I wouldn't. A lot of people don't. Most people aren't. A lot of people starting online businesses or affiliate marketing in general are completely green. They don't have marketing and sales experience. Like I didn't. I worked in construction before I started. That's the only field I ever worked in. I worked in construction for like 8 years. So, what does it cost? And all for your affiliate program? So it depends. Like I'm not going to give you a definitive price. There's a lot of different things that I could offer based on where you're at or what you were looking to do with your business, right? I can't give you a blanket statement like to work with me is going to be this. I can usually package something to meet you where you're at. Some people are ready to invest. They want high level work. They want to work directly with me. They want coaching, and obviously that something like that would be more on the expensive side. But there's also people that aren't, right? There's also people who don't have money, that aren't looking to invest. They're trying to see if they want to get their feet wet or if this business model is even something they want to do. So there's various different ways or different things that I could meet you at depending on where you were at, what you wanted to do. I would just need some more information as far as like personally to do with your business. So how do you drive traffic from other Facebook groups? So the biggest thing that I will recommend when it comes to building your audience from Facebook groups and other Facebook groups is not poaching, right? So that's a big thing a lot of people do in the organic Facebook space is they will go to other Facebook groups and they will spam add as many people as they can, poach on the brand new members. So what I would actually recommend is when it comes to building your audience on Facebook in general, less is more, right? You don't need 5,000 friends. Like if you have 5,000 friends, that's cool, but that's a vanity metric. If you have as many friends as possible, but none of them are actually interested in buying products or interested in anything that you're doing, that's a waste of time. And then removing all those friends is going to be a massive headache, not to mention. But I would recommend, choosing a few different Facebook groups to like be very active in and start actually providing value in them. Like answer questions, put out posts. And what this is going to do is this is actually going to build actual relationships with people. You're not just some random guy or girl adding them from the members area. You're actually, they're asking questions in this group. They're struggling with things. They are, trying to figure stuff out. And you're inside of these communities and you're actually helping them, right? You're giving them questions. You're answering their questions. You're solving their actual problems. Those relationships are going to happen over time naturally. So it's a little less forced versus like just adding as many friends as you can, sending out a copy and paste message talking about, hey, great to be connected. I wouldn't do any of that. And then you can't directly drive traffic from other Facebook groups. So you can't necessarily go into another Facebook group and be like, hey, join my group. Because those groups are spammy, and in reality, I would avoid any groups that have spam or anything like that. You want high quality groups. You want people that are serious about doing whatever niche or industry you plan on playing in. And you want to establish actual relationships with people. That's what this business model is about, is like building connections. In my opinion, and the way that I teach or Facebook or affiliate marketing in general is building a personal brand. So you have to actually have personality in it. You're not just a robot adding random people, sending them a template or sending them a link. That stuff doesn't work in reality. If you're looking to change your life and, anything like that, you're going to have to build a business and you're in it for the long haul. So getting active in groups and building actual genuine connections with people. And then, those relationships will come over time, right? As you're answering questions and you're helping people in groups, you can end up adding them as friends. They can add you. And then you'll start putting out content on your profile, getting people to raise their hand. Further, again, I probably said this like 40 times already. Build that relationship with somebody, right? You're putting out a post on your profile that's building a relationship with them. And then you can start putting out posts that are getting them to raise their hand, ask for your help, show interest in what you're doing, and then you can invite them to the group. So if you put out a lead generation post on your profile, who wants to learn XYZ, all these friends that you have, or a portion of these friends that you have raised their hand, you can then follow up with them, tell them that the resource that you just put up is in the group. They'll join, and rinse and repeat, right? How do you weed out those who are interested in your content versus those who are interested in buying your product? So the biggest thing I would recommend is make more offers, like from the beginning, from day one. Make it known that you have something to sell, right? You're not doing this for free, right? I'm looking to work with people who are serious about building their businesses, right? Make it known that you are selling stuff. This will repel some people, yes. Some people will not like this position or this marketing strategy because it can come across rude, but it's going to save you a ton of time in the long run, right? One of the worst things that you could do in your business is getting to the point where you're getting a bunch of tire kickers or freebie seekers, which it's always going to happen. You're going to get those people that are like asking for lead magnets and asking for information, and they've been asking for information for the last year, but they're never doing anything with it. So one of the biggest things that you can do is like make it known that you have stuff to sell. You're looking to work with people who are ready to invest in themselves. You might get less engagement. You might get less friends or followers or whatever you're doing. But the biggest thing is there's a line, right? Because if you're interacting and you're engaging with these people in a conversation, if they've made it past the point of consuming your content that tells them, hey, I'm looking to work with people who are ready to invest in themselves, every person you're talking to is aware of that. It's not like you put out a piece of content that you said you're going to teach someone how to change their entire life for free, and then you have to kind of figure out which ones are ready to invest, because in reality, a lot of that's not going to happen. Or it will happen, but it will be a lot less, right? There will be a lot less people because a lot of people are going to be coming for that free stuff. And that's a big thing in the online industry. Is a lot of people feel like it should all be free, that they can do everything without ever investing. And you can. I'm not going to say that you have to invest, but I will tell you that the number one thing that I see is the people that have a lot of success are the people that continue to invest in their business, right? I mean, I'm actively investing in my business all the time. I've bought more courses than you can imagine, and I'm still actively buying courses, right? I literally just jumped into a year-long coaching program with somebody. So that's a thing. So in sharing all of that type of stuff, right? If you're talking about how in your business, you talk about how you bought something, you invested in yourself, you invested in a training, or you did something in your life, that's going to be inspiring for other people to hear. It's inspiring to hear someone do what you want to be doing, right? So there's a couple different dynamics you can go about it, but I would recommend just making more offers and make it known that you have stuff to sell, right? You are looking to work with people who are serious. There's so many people out there that are willing to invest in themselves or buy something, so making those your focus versus the people that want to eat up all your time. Shout out to all the construction peeps. Hey, thanks for jumping on. Yeah, I haven't, I miss it sometimes, every once in a while doing labor jobs kind of are very humbling. Reminding me to where, how grateful I am to be where I'm at. Which platform was easiest for you to use after Facebook? So Facebook was actually the last platform I discovered. I started with paid ads. I started running I ran a social media marketing agency for about a year. I was running Facebook ads for local businesses, running paid ads for chiropractic clinics in my area, and it sucked, to say the least. It was horrible. I was constantly dealing with, customer service. If for some reason, if I was sending them leads and they couldn't get the sales, if they weren't able to book those appointments, it was a reflection of me, and it was just a headache, right? I'm not going to say that business model doesn't work, because obviously it does. It just wasn't for me. And so after that, I blogged for an extremely long time. And even to this day, I have an absolutely massive blog. My blog has I think 3 actual New York Times best-selling books worth of content. There's 130,000 words on there or something. And for me, I thought that was that. I thought that was my space. That was my spot. Writing always came really naturally to me. So that was kind of I thought I found my calling, and something that I wanted to be doing. But it's slow. Blogging is extremely slow. Same with YouTube. These are search engines. Those are very long-term plays, right? You put out a piece of content, and yeah, you can rank for years to come, right? You can put out a piece of content and you can start getting traffic. You'll get traffic for a long time, but it's not as easy to start these platforms, right? There's a very long, prolonged period of where you're probably going to be getting zero traffic, where you're going to be consistently putting out content. You're going to be putting in the work, and you're going to be seeing no results. And then it'll snowball effect. As time goes on, it will start to, or I guess the opposite way, snowball rolling down the hill would be more of the analogy for that. It will continue to pick up and build on itself, but you have to get to that point, right? So Facebook's actually one of the last platforms that I discovered, and that's where I put all my energy. After I found it, because I was able to start making, I was writing these massive blog posts that were never getting put on Google, right? Even to this day, I have blogs that weren't ever indexed by Google. And then I started leveraging Facebook, and it's a different type of platform, right? So you put out content on most platforms or search platforms. You put out a piece of content and you wait, right? Facebook's different. If you have the audience and you're building the audience on Facebook, you're adding friends, you're building up your friends list, you can put out a post and you can start to see results instantaneously. People will start commenting, engaging. It's right now. It's not like you're waiting. And then also the other side of that spectrum is if you want to go build your audience, you want to go get in contact with people, and you want to present offers, you can do that on your own time. You're not putting out a piece of content and waiting. You can go do that. You want to go start a conversation with somebody, you have the option to do that. But as far as other platforms, I know this is totally a ramble, but TikTok's absolutely awesome. I love TikTok. I probably spend way too much time on there, just like everybody else. But utilizing TikTok to grow your other systems can work really well. So if you're trying to grow whatever you're doing, utilizing the virality of TikTok can work extremely well, because the organic reach on TikTok is very high, right? There's not any other platforms right now you can create a piece of content on and then get exposure to as fast, or as much, I guess you should say, for virtually very easily. So if you wanted to grow your friends list on Facebook, or you wanted to grow your Facebook group on Facebook, utilizing TikTok or other short form video content, almost every platform has these videos now, like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. They all have short form video platforms right now. So if you are creating TikTok videos, you can literally create a TikTok video and you can get 4 or 5 places of exposure for one piece of content. And I also, if you are doing organic Facebook, if you're creating TikToks, I would highly recommend using it to grow your group. And then also start putting out Facebook Reels, because I've I've started getting a lot of feedback on my actual post on my profile from releasing those pieces of content. And the cool part is I'm not recreating anything. I've already created that content on TikTok, so it's a win-win basically. How do you create attractive content that sells? Be yourself. Tell your story. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people making when they start organic Facebook is they will do educational posts, right? They'll do how to do X, Y, Z, 10 steps to having success with this. And I would personally avoid very many educational posts. The biggest thing, the most powerful types of posts that you can make or content is shifting somebody's belief, right? So creating a piece of content that makes them change their mindset or makes them believe something, right? So that's the type of content it's gonna build extremely deep connections with people, and that's what's gonna sell, right? Having a connection with somebody or helping them believe something that wasn't possible or change their mindset on something, that's the type of content that's going to actually make sales. And then just being yourself, like telling your story, right? Facebook's like a highlight reel, and everybody just wants to post their successes and income claims. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. Like, if you're getting results, definitely share your results. I wouldn't necessarily make it the core focus of your marketing strategy. And what I mean by that is I wouldn't necessarily make them like every post you put out is a commission screenshot. It's just spammy in my opinion. Being yourself, telling your story, why you're starting an online business, why you're, what you're doing in your business, things you're investing in, things you've tried that haven't worked, things you're trying that do work, what you're actually doing in your daily life. These are all things that inadvertently make sales, right? Because you're building a personal brand. You're selling you as an affiliate. You're selling you, right? And that's a missing component that a lot of people don't see is, you're literally, people are buying because of you. They're not buying because of the product that you're selling most of the time, right? They're buying because of your recommendation, because I believe in this product, right? So for them to want to buy the product because you believe in it, they have to believe in you. They have to feel like they're connected to you. And I've probably said that a ton of times throughout this live, but it's all you usually, right? And as you grow and you build this following of people that are interested in you, that feel connected to you, you can sell your own stuff, right? Or you can even position the affiliate product you're promoting as something of your own, right? If you put together a resource or a guide or something, you can then use that dynamic to promote the same product on the back end. It can be a good selling point on the back end, right? Because it's something new, it's flashy, it's shiny, right? So if you're doing something that's your own, you can then sell the same product on the back end, but people are coming to it because it's yours, right? So that's, I don't mean to like repeat myself, but I mean, that's in a sense, that's all this game is about. That's all that affiliate marketing is about: building a personal brand, building relationships and nurturing your audience with your content and monetizing it, right? In a sense, affiliate marketing and affiliate programs and products, it's literally just a means of monetization. It's monetizing on your audience, right? You're basically a glorified content creator, right? But the cool part about affiliate marketing is you can go move freely throughout your industry. If you really focus on building a personal brand and like people that are, actually interested in you, you can promote whatever you want. Like over the last few years, I've promoted tons of different products, you name it. Because I'm not like pigeonholing myself into one thing, right? Like that's building a brand that revolves around a singular thing. My brand and what I'm doing is, revolving around me. So that would be my very tangential recommendation. What's a very good stopping point? What is a very good stopping point when it comes to being personal? It's good to be ourselves, but to a certain extent. Um, it depends, right? So if you're like talking about, you know, there's no right or wrong answer, right? So whatever you want to share, right? If you don't want to share like deep, dark secrets and like parts of your life, you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to. It's completely up to you, right? If you don't want to be vulnerable, you don't want to uh, share that type of stuff with like the masses and online, then you're not required to. Um, but it can help. Like I'm not telling you to like write out your life story and talk about trauma or things that you're uncomfortable talking about. You can talk about things that are just going on, or like your life, like why you're looking to make money online, or the biggest thing is seeing other people do what they want to do and like making changes in their life, or you know, say for example, you like I don't know who's actually talking, so I don't mean to say anything rude. If say for example, you were like way overweight, right? And you started dieting and you started losing weight, right? So that's going to inspire everybody that else that feels like they're overweight and they want to lose weight. Um, so what I'm saying, like being personable and sharing yourself and like having your personality in it, it doesn't have to be like everything about your entire life. It can literally just be what's going on, like what you're doing, things that are going to inspire people. Like that's the goal of the content, is to share your story and make other people feel connected to it through your content, feel like you understand them and that they are in the same position as you. You guys are in the same boat. Because then when it comes to presenting offers and making affiliate offers, or selling your own product, there's a connection, right? What kind of work ethic is required to reach 5K in 6 months? That's a hard question to answer. And it depends on the strategy. It depends on experiences, stuff like that. Definitely hitting 5K months in 6 months is a very realistic goal, especially if you're promoting high ticket products on the front end, and you get an actual offer of your own created. And when I say get an offer of your own, I don't mean partnering with an affiliate program, right? Because that's what everybody does. Everybody gets an affiliate link and they think they're good to go. I mean, making yourself stand out, right? Packaging whatever you're doing on top of your product. Like what makes you different? Something that's going to make you stand out. And then if you're not making any sales in the beginning, I would highly recommend going very heavy on bonuses, right? Because it's really going to kickstart the momentum. Because you're at this, being at the point of making no sales is probably the hardest part, because you don't have any results. You don't have any, your mindset. This business model might not even be a real thing to you yet, because you haven't even made any sales yet. So get going very heavy on your own offer, right? Putting coaching, consulting, physical bonuses, like especially when you get into the high ticket business model, you can do so many different things to encourage other people to sell, right? And you're like, I've seen people offer Chromebooks and laptops and headphones, all of these things that aren't even related to the product that you're promoting, but it makes the perceived value of what someone's buying insane, right? And yes, it is going to eat your profit margins in the beginning, right? You don't have to do this forever, but what it's also going to do is it's going to help kickstart those first few sales. And 50% of your sale is better than 0%, right? So it depends, getting a couple systems in place. And then a huge component to that is going to be an offer, because even with like subpar content, if you're not very good in messaging and you're not good at sales, having an offer, like an actual, like an offer of your own that makes people feel like, I would be silly to say no to this. Like, this is an insane opportunity. I need to jump in on this. That can literally change everything. And then the rest will start to snowball, right? The momentum will start to pick up. You start getting sales, you start getting testimonials, and then the ball just continues to build on top of itself. And that's how you see people go to success extremely quick. is when the momentum, like it's a very real thing in this business model, is momentum, right? You start having success and it just starts compounding, and you start stacking all of this on top of each other. And then it really makes making sales a lot easier down the line as well, because you have these results, you have these testimonials, you have all of these different things that are, virtually building your business. I don't know why it's not showing my name. My niche is beauty, but it's super hard. Broad, too many people. I don't want to come off as an influencer, but more so a marketer. It doesn't show your name because you have. I'm using StreamYard, so you have to like give them permission or something. There should be a link somewhere on the post that will show you, or show you how you can do it. You have to give it permission or something. So then it says my niche is beauty, and that is super broad. Too many people. I don't want to come off as an influencer, but as a marketer. So that's another thing. Like, you want to play in the beauty space. That's completely fine, right? But there's so many subsections of the beauty space. Like, do you want to work with people who like want to do makeup, or do you want to work with people that like want to create content and get their makeup business online, or even people that are selling makeup products? There's so many different avenues that you can go down. And then like a good way to look at it would be like a previous version of you, right? So like that's usually your ideal audience. The people that you want to work with is usually a previous version of yourself. And if you look at your business this way, it will continue to grow, right? And your business will change. Your ideal customer will change, who you're working with, but it will always keep it relevant, right? So like when I was first starting, I was working with a lot of people that didn't have experience, right? That never did anything online. But now a lot of the people that I'm working with are people that are already doing affiliate marketing, but are struggling, right? They're not getting success. They're not having results. So this will change, but this will also help with, getting a very clear understanding on who you want to be working with and what you want to be doing. So beauty is super broad, right? You don't necessarily want to just be like in beauty, right? I would recommend finding like maybe doing an exercise, figuring out who exactly you want to be working with. Like who your ideal customer is, right? Because that's going to make creating content and resonating your content to them extremely easy, because you know what they're going through. Whether it's you want to like be selling beauty products or selling products that are like makeup and stuff like that. I would recommend digital product, more expensive digital product. Or you want to be working with like, people who also do makeup that want to like do digital marketing. They want to sell products, right? Going in and teaching them how to build personal brands, teaching them how to get their content online. There's so many different avenues that you can go about it. So I think just figuring out exactly what you want to be doing and where you want to go with it would be very important. And you don't have to be an expert, right? You don't have to be like, I know probably one thing that you're thinking is like, I can't show somebody how to get their self online because I'm not online, or, something like that. But you got to remember, like, if you are selling to a previous version of you, like to someone that isn't aware of like growing a Facebook community or building a personal brand, to them, you are the expert, right? Because you understand these things, right? You've invested in yourself. You've invested in training. You're learning these things, right? So you don't have to have the golden ticket for them. You can still leverage what you've learned. How do you keep your business from being redundant? If you're sharing what you're doing in your life, your business, that's always changing. And then also keep in mind that people's attention spans are extremely short. So you can, like, if you're posting content on Facebook, I wouldn't necessarily say like doing the same exact piece of content over and over again. But the same style, right? The same type of stuff. You can kind of cycle through different types of things with the same objective, and nobody's really going to notice, to be honest. If you have a group and you have a Facebook profile, You can interchange posts every once in a while. I wouldn't necessarily post them on the same day, but most people will never even notice. What kind of bonus you suggest to stack with Freedom Breakthrough 2.0 high ticket offer? Coaching and consulting, physical books, ebooks, software, white label products. There's a lot of different options. Coaching and consulting can be one that's going to add the perceived value extremely quick. If you could offer 5 hours of one-on-one coaching, that would be something that would greatly increase the chances of someone wanting to buy from you, because they're going to get that support from you personally. And I'm not saying you have to do that forever or like always offer one-on-one, but if you haven't made sales, you can start packaging an offer that's going to really kickstart those sales, and then it can start to feed onto itself, right? Private Facebook group, having a group for your buyers, support channels, Slack channels, just so many different aspects. There is a complete, like if you check out the guide section, there's actually a training on offer creation that you could use to promote Freedom Breakthrough that will help you, package your offer, presenting your offer, and getting that all together. But yeah, there's definitely it depends where you're at. Like if the offer that you could make sales with right now, if you're in the beginning stages, I would go very heavy with it. Like even if it's going to eat your margins, right? If it's going to eat your profit margins and you're not going to be getting, the $1,000 commission, who cares? Because you're going to be getting some sales, right? Even if you have to cut that commission in half and you're only getting like 50% of the commission, it's going to help, right? Because you're going to start making sales and having something that people are like, wow, this is insane. Like nobody else is offering this stuff. I want to buy it from him because, he's giving me all of this crazy stuff on top of this product. That's how you're really going to start to get, the ball rolling. And if you do this correctly, you can also start to position your offer as like your product, right? So if you have all of these bonuses in your product, you can literally promote that on the front end, right? So if you're like offering 5 hours of one-on-one coaching, you can say, hey, who would want to work directly with me, one-on-one coaching for XYZ for the next 90 days, right? So people are going to start raising their hands for the pure fact that they want the one-on-one coaching, that they want your support, and then you're selling the same product on the back end, right? But it's a different positioning on the front end. So you're no longer the person selling the same exact product as 5,000 other people. You're promoting something different. And everybody likes new shiny stuff. So that can be a really good strategy to use too, but you will have to have a very compelling offer in place to do this and to have success like with that strategy. But yeah, where I interview entrepreneurs is a good idea to drive traffic. Yeah, if you're doing live interviews with people, I definitely would. So like if you're doing interviews with entrepreneurs and affiliate marketers, online business owners, whatever, those are all lead magnets. So those can be all things that you can use to grow your group, right? If you have those interviews inside of your Facebook group, you can start using those as pieces of content to get to people in your group, right? So yeah, I definitely would drive traffic to that. You can also leverage those. So say, for example, you want to use those as your offer. You can put those in like a website or whatever you're doing, however you're doing it. You can package those in a way that that's part of your offer. So like, hey, if you buy this, you're going to get access to 10 interviews I did with the high-level entrepreneurs. You're going to get secret strategies, right? So most people already have a ton of resources that they can use for their offers and like to make the product they're promoting more valuable. It's just getting a little outside of the box, and kind of looking at it from a bird's eye view and what you can put on top of your product to promote. But yeah, we are at about an hour, so I am going to wrap up this live. If you guys do have any more questions, don't hesitate to post them in the group. Anything, shoot me a DM. I'm here to answer any questions you guys might have. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.